Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a really important topic for retirement security, annuities. We're going to break down exactly what they are and how they can potentially give you a reliable income for the rest of your life. You know, it really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You spend decades saving, building up this nest egg. But then comes the really tricky part. How do you make sure that money lasts as long as you do? It's a huge challenge, and pretty much every retiree thinks about it.
Well, the good news is you don't have to figure this all out on your own. There are financial tools out there specifically designed to create that secure income. We're going to dive deep into the big one, annuities. And if you want to see how these ideas might fit your own life, you can find personalized tools over at retirementaihelper.com. So here's our game plan. First, we'll get straight to what an annuity actually is, how it can create your own personal pension. Then, we'll take a tour of the main types. Think of it as a toolbox. After that, we'll get real about the big trade-offs, because there are always trade-offs. And finally, we'll see how this all plays out with some real-world examples. All right, let's jump right in. The core idea here is turning your savings into a personal pension. So, what in the world is an annuity? At its heart, it's actually a pretty simple deal. It's a contract you make with an insurance company. You give them a lump sum of your money, and in return, they promise to pay you back with a steady stream of income. Just think of it like you're buying your own private, guaranteed paycheck. And it really just boils down to these two steps. You pay them once, and they start paying you back over time. The real magic, the big promise of a lifetime annuity, is that those payments are guaranteed to continue for as long as you live, no matter what. So you might be wondering, how can an insurance company make that kind of promise? Well, this right here is the secret sauce. See, when you're investing by yourself, you're carrying all the risk of running out of money. But an annuity brings thousands of people together into a big pool. And the powerful idea here is that the money from people who don't live as long helps make sure there's enough to keep paying those who live a very long time. It's a concept called risk pooling, and it's the engine that makes that lifetime guarantee possible. Okay, so now that we've got the basic concept down, let's open up the toolbox. Because there isn't just one kind of annuity, there are a bunch, and each one is designed to do a different job. This chart gives us a great bird's eye view of the four main types. Over on the simple side, you've got the SPA, or immediate annuity, which is for income that starts, well, immediately. Then there's the DIA, the deferred one, which is more like longevity insurance for way down the road. Then things get more complex with variable and indexed annuities. Those are tied to the stock market and are designed for growth. Each one is a totally different tool for a different task. Let's make this a little more real. If we look at that simplest type, the SPIA, a 65-year-old man who puts in $100,000 could get a check for on $600 every single month for the rest of his life. It's a very direct way to turn a pile of cash into a reliable paycheck. Now, those other two types get a little more complicated. A variable annuity is kind of like a bunch of mutual funds wrapped inside an insurance policy. You get the potential for market growth, but also the risk. A fixed indexed annuity is a bit different. It protects you from any losses in the market, which is great, but it also puts a ceiling on how much you can earn. The big thing to remember here is that with more complexity comes, you guessed it, higher fees. Okay, this is a really crucial point. Annuities are not a free lunch. They involve a fundamental trade-off, and being honest about that is the key to deciding if one is right for you. So here it is, this central bargain. On one hand, you gain this incredible peace of mind, a guaranteed income, and real simplicity. But on the other hand, you give something up. You give up liquidity, meaning you can't easily get your lump sum back. You give up some control, and you might give up the chance for huge market gains. It's a direct trade, certainty in exchange for flexibility. And this chart shows one of the biggest silent risks to any fixed income: inflation. That $2,000 check might feel great in year one, but look what happens over time. 20 years later, it buys you barely half of what it used to. So while the dollar amount is guaranteed, what that money can actually buy is definitely not. So beyond just giving up access to your money, there are these other big things to think about. High fees on the complicated products can slowly eat away at your returns. The guarantee is only as strong as the insurance company itself. And for the most basic lifetime annuities, that money usually doesn't get passed on to your kids. These are all critical pieces of the puzzle. All right, enough with the theory. Let's see how this stuff actually works in the real world. We're going to look at a couple of quick stories to see how people use these tools to solve real problems. So let's meet Jane. She's 70, and her main worry isn't about getting richer. It's about not running out of money. She just wants to sleep at night knowing her essential bills, the mortgage, utilities, food, are covered for life, no matter what happens in the market. So she does something really smart. She doesn't put all her money into an annuity. Instead, she carves out just a piece of her savings to buy a simple one. The goal here is to create what's called an income floor, a guaranteed base that covers all her must-pay bills. And the result? It's a complete game changer for her. That guaranteed income stream covers her basic needs, and that frees her up mentally. Now she has the confidence to invest and spend the rest of her savings, knowing that her foundation is totally secure. But of course, an annuity isn't the right answer for everybody. Here's a totally different perspective. You've got people like Bob and Alice who would rather manage the risk themselves. For them, keeping control, having flexibility, and being able to leave unused money to their kids is just more important. And that's a perfectly valid choice too. So let's wrap this up with the big takeaways. First, just remember that annuities are tools designed to do one thing: turn a lump sum into income. Second, the best one really depends on what you're trying to do. And finally, the whole decision really boils down to a very personal choice between the peace of mind that comes with certainty versus the power that comes with flexibility and control. And that really brings us to the final question, the one only you can answer. When you think about your own goals, your comfort with risk, and what you value most, does creating your own personal pension with an annuity make sense as part of your journey? At the end of the day, retirement isn't just about hitting a certain age. It's about being ready. It's about having a plan that gives you freedom and confidence. You've worked your whole life to earn this. Now's the time to plan for it. If you're ready to start exploring what that looks like for you, head over to retirementaihelper.com to start building your own personalized roadmap. Thanks so much for joining me.